welcome everyone that's here, including I have a couple of guests with me, Holly Heller-Ross, who is a former CIO and the librarian at SUNY Plattsburgh, and who has started this idea of getting the Women in Technology group together. And I have Sue Chichester with us from Geneseo, and she kicked off her Women in Technology group at Geneseo yesterday. And I look forward to hearing how that went with her. And actually, Sue, Holly, and I are going to do a session together at CIT next week. But as I sent out the email last week, to put together this session and just to advertise it and let people know that we were thinking of it, I have to say that the response I have received has been overwhelming in terms of the number of people and women and a couple men actually have reached out. I see Candace joined us, so yes, thanks, Candace. But it is I say I received more than 20 emails of people going, "Oh, I want to be involved," including actually just before we started, Jen Knapp sent me a note and said, "Oh, the new whoever's taking over in Dieter is going to be interested in joining." So I can tell that there's really a lot of interest in it. And I will say the one thing that I was looking for was that we think about women in technology in a very broad sense, and technology does go and touch everything. And I guess I'm looking more for beyond just the people that do IT support. I'm looking at and judging by the responses I've received, the faculty that go and implement technology and are going and teaching it and, dealing with the students. And I received email from the graphic designers. Kara and Rebecca had both reached out to me to go in and do it. So the art group was doing it too. So it is very broad and needed. So I guess Holly had started with this list at Plattsburgh when they got together. So when I look about who is interested, I see that there's tremendous interest from all over. Then I think of how do we want to hope to accomplish what we think of people identifying. I already said my vision. What would we want from a SUNY-wide WIT organization? But I'm really focusing on what would we want at Oswego and how would we want to go and to support one another. We do talk about how we would have male identifying allies and who to invite to another meeting, and then how we want to operate. So I guess I'm gonna, that's kind of my opening spiel, and see what would the people have thoughts, how we would want to operate, how they would want to be involved. The commitment that we've made is that, we'll have this session today, but we'll really get rolling in the fall. So I'm open to thoughts from this broad and diverse group that we have here.
Well, I just sent you an email so you can officially count me as interested.
Okay, that's good. And yeah, it's amazing the response that I've received. I guess how would and I'm thinking we'd get together in early fall to really kind of go and to kick it off. What would people see as how they would want to work together and how we would want to move forward? And to break the silence, I can say that yeah, go ahead, Ann.
I don't want to dominate the conversation, no. But I think a big role could be to demystify or do something to reach out to young women to show that technology is not, and science are not scary pursuits. And really, we can bring more people into these disciplines to show them that there's a world out there that could be for them.
I think to piggyback on what Anne just said is I think we need to be very clear what we mean by women in technology. And it doesn't only mean women that are, you know, a lot of people just think this is women in the IT field. Well, it's not. And as you said, Anne, definitely women in the STEM fields because of the integration of technology into our teaching practices, into our work practices, regardless of what the field is. I think it's just because it says women in technology is just making sure that we put the message out there. This is very broad, that it's, somebody in theater is using various technologies, using in the various liberal arts courses like history. I just remember working with Murat and we talked about, one of his courses he was developing, and I know Candace is very much working on the digital humanities. So how does all of that integrate into technology? And I think that's one thing there may be a lot of uncertainty about. And I think it's just really just explaining what this is and how it's everyone can benefit from being part of this organization.
Yeah, I agree with what Teresa's saying, because everybody within this organization is using technology in different ways. Like here in the International Education Office, we're using Slate more than we have before, and we didn't know the different ways that we can use automation with it and integrate it into Banner. And it's women in our office that are using it and not our male counterparts. But we have our male allies that are helping us integrate different pieces. But we would never have known the great things about Slate had we not been integrated into these different systems. And there's so many different systems that can be integrated with each other. So I think having something like this is really nice. And it's kind of like how we can use those micro credentials that we're getting. And I think students need to know about that, especially with that new integrated professional studies, how that is showing integration and how automation is happening around all different walks of professions.
Oh, there's lots in the chat. Okay, Sue asked, maybe we can go and introduce ourselves, and I will go. I have to go switch to back to my gallery view, and we can just go. Kristen Croyle.
Hi there, I'm Kristen Croyle. I'm Dean in Liberal Arts and Sciences, and I'm a psychologist.
Teresa Gilliard Cook.
Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Gilliard Cook. I'm the Senior Instructional Designer here at SUNY Oswego. I am also a former IT worker. I worked in IT for 15 years in a prior life. And of course, the integration of technology and education is a great place for me to be as an instructional designer.
And Carolee.
Hi, I'm an associate professor in physics. I embed aspects of computational physics and thus technology in almost all of my courses.
Thanks. Barb. Saint Michelle.
Hi,
Michael.
I'm Saint Michelle.
Saint Michelle. Yes, she's Canadian. Yeah.
I have Canadian roots, yes. I'm in campus life, and there are two major pieces of software that we work with, one of which is Laker Life, and the other is EMS for reservations, and both of those interface with Banner, among other things. And so it's really important for our students in terms of involvement and their ability to find space for events on campus, as well as faculty and staff.
Yeah. Carrie.
Hi, my name is Carrie Mosick. I'm one of the instructional designers working under Teresa, and we're always looking at new technologies. Yeah,
and then we've got Candace Hawk, who is also Canadian.
Yeah, Hi guys, my internet really sucks right now and I'm regretting being home for this. Can you hear me?
We can. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just say,
Everyone's kind of frozen.
okay, I'm gonna say that
Um,
Candace is a historian, and she is working the digital humanities. She's just about to get a new lab in Mahar too as well. So we'll get working on that real soon. And she's a U of T grad as well as from Northern British Columbia. I know that. So there you go. And then Mary Ann, I'll skip you, Holly. Mary Ann.
Hi, I'm Marianne Preston, and I work in the Institutional Research and Assessment Office. And prior to working in higher ed, I worked in like biostats in clinical trials.
Yeah, and then Sue's next to me on the screen, and she is the CIO at Geneseo. I'll let you go. And then Murat, who's also a Canadian kind of wannabe. There we go.
Hi everyone, that is true. And I am an associate dean in class, also professor of history.
Yeah, okay. And he's a grad of U of T, which is why
Sure.
yeah. Star.
Hi, I'm Star Madison. I'm an assistant professor in the Career and Technical Educator Prep Department, and my background is in technology education and pre-engineering.
Thanks. And Amy Wallace.
Hi, I'm Amy Wallace, and I'm the Office Manager in International Education and Programs.
Okay, and then I've got the two librarians next, Laura Harris. Oh, people
There's
move.
actually, there's three of us.
Oh,
so-
now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Laura Harris. I'm the Web Services and Distance Learning Librarian. Prior to coming to Oswego, I did tech support and training for a library-focused vendor. And before that, I was also doing web stuff at a different academic library. And I had a very brief career as a computer science major.
Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin Kowalski. I'm the Access Services Librarian at Penfield. I oversee the unit that circulates all of our equipment, and I also am very involved with our library management software. So I make sure that all of our users can access materials and resources here.
And Catherine.
Hello, everybody. I'm Catherine Johns Masson. I'm the systems and special collections librarian, so I use a lot of the different systems. Prior to that position, I was the electronic resources librarian. And prior to being at Oswego, I also was electronic resources librarian for about 4 years. So hello,
Thanks.
everyone.
And Nicole Decker.
Morning, Nicole Decker. I am in the central IT department here at Oswego and Associate Director for Client Support and Communication, with roots in the infrastructure side, starting out with coding, programming, system administration, and networking.
Thanks. Naja.
Hi everyone, my name is Naja Zaid. I'm in the Department of Health Promotion and Wellness. I teach health technology in person and online. So, and I dabble with technology in general. So hence why I'm
Yeah. And John's with us too. He's at all the sessions, but John is a great ally too, and a tremendous user of technology. I'm just going to say, I don't know if John's actually there or not, because he runs from session to session, but oh, he's there.
We're both here.
Okay, that's great. And Anna Croyle is there too when I hear that. So, and actually, I'm just looking in the chat again that Candace is doing a session. I know at 1 o'clock today on yoga in the classroom, which I'm signed up for on that one too. So there you have the, you know, a good. You see what a broad view it is, Sue and Holly, that we have here. And I guess my next question for people, and I know we're getting down to the last 4 minutes in this, you know, quick in the 20-minute sessions, is how we would want to operate and how we would want to get rolling in terms of, you know, our meetings. I think my goal would be to set something up for September, I think, and probably meet monthly, but I'm open to other options too. If anyone has any ideas or want to make other comments. I plugged your 1 o'clock yoga session while you were gone, Kim.
Thank you. I just want to put in a couple of words because I'm on my phone and I think you can hear me now. It would be really great to do some like special talks with the women's group on campus. So we're talking directly to the female students. And I know the history department's enrollment for majors is low and we need more women. And I think the best way to get new, fresh female blood in our department for our students is to look at women with technology because it's so employable, not just in history, but outside of history. But it would also be great because DH, the Digital Humanities Initiative on campus, has primarily been pushed forward by female faculty. There's, of course, allies like Marat, but most of us are women. So I think we can try to make ourselves more visible on campus to students, show our research. And sorry, I just threw all that at you guys.
Yeah, no, that's great. So I think one of the things you're suggesting is that we highlight some of the things that women are doing inside technology and go and have maybe like a speaker session. And I really like your idea in terms of going and getting students, doing something and which really goes back to what Ann, you were talking about too, to go in to highlight for students opportunities, which there are many. So I'm just going to ask if Sue, I don't know if you want, I know you had a meeting yesterday at Geneseo, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot like this. Did you want to highlight any of the things from your conversations yesterday?
I think that it was a lot of like what you talked about. The way I started out is I actually just brought together the women in my own IT department. And then we did brainstorm who outside of IT we wanted to invite to our second meeting. And it was a lot of people coming from places like you talked about. That's kind of why I was interested. I wanted to make sure we weren't missing anybody. And then we talked about more of a broader invitation that would include students as well. We talked a lot about students and careers and raising awareness of careers for our students. That was a real big topic for us. We did talk about micro-credentialing, maybe coming up with some ways that we could do some things with that around professional development. We did talk about how we would be looking for professional development, maybe from SUNY, some help with some of that as well. And we were also interested in like having some experience with other chapters, so that's why the SUNY would play. And, we want to talk to other campuses that are doing something. We talked about like possibly a mentorship program. We talked about having a SUNY listserv that we could kind of all talk to each other. We talked about job postings, how we could highlight jobs. We actually talked about how having a WIT on our campus could help us attract women to our positions, because we're finding in IT anyway that we don't even get very many women apply. I advertised for a support services director position. I got one woman to apply. Everyone else was a man. I was kind of astounded by that. We talked about having a social media presence, coming up with a hashtag and using that kind of off of some of our existing social media stuff that we have set up. So, that was kind of in a nutshell. I don't want to hold you guys up.
There's a lot there. Good ideas. I'm just going to ask WIT list. Holly, I'm going to give you a chance to say something. I know we're at time, but you are This is kind of like you're the driving force, and I'm so happy we have such great response here on campus.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is very inspiring. And I know our own sort of interest group here at SUNY Plattsburgh includes faculty, librarians, and professional offices, business offices on campus, and you know, the institutional research offices, instructional designers. You're all so critical to the way technology works or doesn't work on campus, human resources for recruiting, and then the student experience. And everything that you've said are things that we've talked about. But I do want to let you know that we are going to have an overarching SUNY organization that's going to be helping, like, connect chapters, run an all SUNY listserv, set up sessions and tracks at existing conferences, advocate for, a CIO, woman of the year kind of award, a library award and acknowledgement, and SUNY Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is going to be our system home. And they are going to also help us with creating a data snapshot of the status of women in technology in SUNY. And the fact that we are defining women as anyone who identifies as a woman, to me, I think that's so critical, and all of the allies. And then we're also identifying technology writ large, the way it permeates all of our lives in every facet, and it shouldn't be a scary thing, and it should be a wonderful, exciting thing for our students. So yeah, I'm really happy that you are already starting, and look forward to more supports as you create a chapter in the fall. And thanks to Sean for launching this at Oswego, and Sue for launching this at Geneseo. It's going to be wonderful.
Okay, thanks a lot. My time is up, and actually I'm 3 minutes over. So Ann is going to be cutting me off in a minute. But as I just go back and say